So in this lecture, we are going to be talking about the sub-branches. What are the keywords? What are the concepts that goes out of the branches? We started with the main idea, we started with the core, we expanded all the way to the different branches that you have. But now, what are the keywords? What are the concepts that you need for each and every branch? These are the sub-branches. So, the sub-branch title. For each branch you create, you write one word or more than one that represents the main idea of this branch clearly. The use of keywords triggers connections in your brain and allows you to remember a large quantity of information. So all the different keywords, they link up. Starting with the main ideas keyword, you're going to have a lot of different keywords that are going to give you all the different branches. But then all these different branches, they have keywords that are going to give you ideas for sub-branches. So the use of the keywords in the branches, that's what's going to make you explore and brainstorm the sub-branches better and more effectively. And once you do, you add all the different sub-branches to the initial branches that you have. And once you start working on your sub-branches, you'll be able to, as soon as you finish all the sub-branches that you have linked to one branch, you'll finish the first branch. And when you finish all of them, you'll be able to finish the task that you had, or you'll be able to get to the end or get to the butter of whatever you were trying to do with your mind map. So this is an illustration to explain sub-branches. Number one is the core, is the main idea. Number two is the branch. So you got the main idea and then you start brainstorming and you got an idea and that's where it branches. That's number two. And then number three, the circles around number two, these are the sub-branches, all the different ideas that came out of the second branch. Now these ideas are related to the keyword that is in the number two, that are in the branch. And the keyword in the branch, number two, is also related to the keyword in number one, which is the core, which is the main idea in the mind map. So as we talked before about branches, the sub-branches also, they need to be related to the keyword or to the concept in the branch in number two, right? If they're not related, if they're going to waste your time, if you put a sub-branch that is not related and it's not going to contribute in any way towards the branch, the initial branch, you are just wasting your time. You are doing something extra that you don't need, something extra that shouldn't be included in your mind map. If, for example, you're trying to gain muscle and you're putting number two is gaining muscle and number three are all the different ways that you can gain muscle. Let's say take a mass gainer, eat a lot of protein, eat a lot of carbs, and then you add something, for example, take hormone pills when in fact it's out of question. You would never, ever, ever take hormone pills. Why add it to the mind map? You're only making it more complicated. Just add the things that are relevant to you and to the keywords that you're using and that are relevant to the goal that you have, the main goal or the main plan that you have. Otherwise, everything else is just extra information that's going to slow you down or that's going to mess up your mind map. So, first thing to do is, as soon as you figure out what the keyword for the branch is, you start looking at this keyword, you start thinking about this keyword or whatever image you might be using, whatever shape you might be using, and we're going to talk about them later. And then what's going to happen is you're going to start getting all of these different ideas, different keywords, which are the sub-branches. As soon as you add the sub-branch, you need to ask yourself, is it related to the branch? If yes, is it related to the main goal? If yes, then you're good. But if you add one and you feel like it's going to waste your time, it's not related to the branch or it's not related to the sub-branch or to the overall goal, what you want to achieve, you're going to know that adding this sub-branch is not going to do anything but waste your time. And lastly, I'm going to also repeat it. Back to the flow. Do not force it. If you get to the point where you're not getting any more ideas for sub-branches, don't force it out. Don't sit there and just think about what kind of sub-branches can I add. Just start working on sub-branches. Maybe while you're working on one of them, you might remember another sub-branch that you will go then and add. But sitting down and dwelling on not finding a lot of sub-branches, as we said about when we talked about the branch section, the more sections you add, the more complicated it gets because you have a lot more information to go through. right? But if you keep it simple in the same way you are using mind mapping properly, you're not adding extra information that is not valuable or that has nothing to do with the core information or with your goal, then you're good to go. So go with the flow. Don't force it out. Just wait, and you're going to see how all the different ideas when it comes to sub-branches are just going to start flowing in your mind, especially after using the core enhancing and the structure enhancing techniques that we're going to talk about in later lectures. So for now, what you need to know about sub-branches is once you have the main idea, you get your branch. We talked about it before. And then just the same way you got the branch, this branch has a keyword that's going to trigger a lot of different keywords in your mind. And these are the sub-branches. You add the sub-branches, make sure that they are relevant to the branch, make sure that they are relevant to the main idea, and make sure they are relevant to the main goal, to the big goal that you have. Don't force it, just let it go with the flow. Try to eliminate all those sub-branches that are not important or not related to your goal, your idea, or your branch, and then work on each and every one of them. If you do remember any sub-branch while working on these sub-branches, or even on other branches or other sub-branches, you go back and you add it. But don't sit down and dwell on finding more and more sub-branches. Keep it simple, keep it easy, and keep it relative to the main idea, main goal, and branch.